Sergio Dominguez with the season 15th, 10th anniversary edition of the commentary for the Sergio Show. Yes, season 15, 10 years of the show. I'm so happy and excited. Oh my god. So what I started off with? Well, since it's a very celebratory episode and season, it's been 10 years since the first episode came out, I decided to do a special edition of the first episode. And I wanted to make it special and try to, in a way, remaster it, but still feel like the first episode, but newer, cleaner. And since the first episode, a lot of things has changed with me and the show over the years, in my experience and with the programs and what I've learned, that I wanted to just put that into the first episode again, because the first episode started off with me not really knowing anything and having so many limited things that I can work with and deal with. So it'd be funny to tackle the first episode again with 10 years more experience, but I still want it to be charming. I want it to be a fun episode and not have it feel or look too blasphemous. So I wanted something that the fans would enjoy and give it a reason why to watch almost the same episode, but just 2018 instead of 2008, and that was hand-drawn animation. Fans, I've gotten a lot of messages from fans saying, do hand-drawn animation, not this puppet stuff. No, stop with the keyframes. Give me drawings moving. Come on, animation can do that. And for a while, or is it a long time? Whatever. I've been thinking about that. I want to do some hand-drawn animation somewhere, but I could never do it, in a whole episode. I couldn't think of it. Excuse me. I couldn't think of it, and I can only do it in segments and pieces because it is a long, tedious process, and I didn't know what my approach was. Was I going to use a tablet? Was I going to do it pencil and paper? Like, what was the best way to approach this? So I approached it by actually taking a sketchbook and doing the whole drawing it in pen, scanning it into the software, and setting up each frame. And that's how it worked. There were some parts where I did use the tablet, and there were some parts where I did use, the regular mouth animation, as you can see here. So that's how the animation went on this. So there was a lot of little drawings and little thumbnail marker drawings of the Sergio character, hundreds and hundreds, and that's how it came out. This one. First, what I'm seeing right now is the advertisement. It's done in stop motion. That stop motion commercial you see right now took about 2 hours to put together because I want it to be quick, simple, and I wanted to also reflect today's time. Because at the time, the first episode, there was barely any commercials on the certain website. But nowadays, there's commercials everywhere. And that's a reflection I wanted to add into the new version of this remastered version. That's what I call it. Because now you can put ads. You can put commercials. Not back then, but now. And that's a big noticeable thing I wanted to do. And I want to do it in stop motion. I want to show some variety. The Juan and Sergio calling thing right here that you're seeing... originally, I storyboarded it as just a better phone call because back then the phone call wasn't a well-done scene. I was still figuring it out. But now, since it's been 10 years, and not only I can do this better, but I realize we don't talk on the phone normally anymore. We actually video chat each other. So I made a very unique special effect that took 3-4 days, where I animate myself with hand-drawn animation talking. And I did another set of animation where it's Juan talking. And it's a big special effect. It's layers of, the background fuzzy cycle in the background. Two of the completely different animations next to each other, front in real time. And also a little bit, to make it more like a video chat, there's also a little thing at the corner. That you do get in video chats. So it's funny to see a 2018 update of the Juan phone call scene and how it's a lot better because, that was tough back then. I'm like, just let the mouth animation do the work. And one of the changes I wanted to make to the show was add new scenes. There was a new set of dialogue I wanted to add because some of the lines of dialogue I wanted to update because I only wanted to be a famous cartoonist, but I've done more than cartoons. I've done videos. That was a big thing experience wise, went from just drawing cartoons to doing that and making videos and other things. And it really like expanded since 10 years. That's one of the things that really changed about me and my experience within the last 10 years. So I wanted to add that. And I wanted to also change the scene, like the drawing scene. Like I wanted to change it to something a little bit more funny, more epic, a little bit more of what the show has been, which is magical things that would happen for no reason. So I added that. I love this walk cycle. I love the animating the walk cycle. It's like two different like bodies instead of the cycle. The background is actually an effect. It's zooming out and it's also a blur edited effect. So that's how I dealt that. So you have that visual look. So there were some changes that needed to be changed, that creatively changed. So so that's what happened to the episode. But I loved making this episode again. It was like coming home again and giving myself a second chance. It was a little bit risky because I know how people are when you change, the original version. But the original version, the very first episode still exists. Not it's in an original form, edited because of copyright reasons, but you can still see the first one and see episode 1 and 141 together and see the differences. One difference I did was also because of technology and what I know, I improved the audio. I improved the audio on the original episode because it had a lot of noise. It did had some audio problems. Juan's phone call side of the thing had audio problems, but I fixed all that. Now it sounds better than ever. So it was, digitally remastered. It was a remastered episode. And I like the new jokes and moments that I add here. And I think that's very poignant and very sweet and a very good tribute to the show itself with the new scenes. Yeah, I really love this episode. It's also one of my favorites just because it is both coming home again, yet looking back and just doing better. And like I want the hand-drawn animation to be really cute, really simple because I had a time limit. But I still wanted to be fun to animate and hopefully fun to watch. And it was fun while making this because I've done some hand-drawn animation, but not that much. So it still has a nice amateur look to it, like the puppet animation. Oh, that's so sweet. Very sweet. Yeah, I think it was important for me to add that. Thank you. You're welcome. Good tribute. Good way to start the season, honestly. Because it needed to be a big tribute to the fans and to the series. 10 years, season 15. Amazing, amazing, amazing. One thing I want to add is the first episode took 6 weeks to make. This one took about almost the same amount of time, actually. Because I wanted to see if I can actually beat the time. But I think I actually made 141 a little bit quicker, but this one will let you know. So thank you guys just for that episode. Wonderful experience. I loved it. So after taking a while for 141 and finally finishing it, because I also want to bring up a couple more things about 141. One of them is when I started. So after 140, I was very sick and I had to deal with a couple of things. But when I felt better in mid-December, I decided to go ahead and start production on 141 because I took like a 2-month break after I finished 140. And I was anxious and felt better and wanted to do the show again. And I wanted to start off with that special episode to make me feel better because it did give me like a good feeling inside and looking back on the first episode and giving it another chance. So I started it in late December, mid-late December, and I finished it early mid-January. And then I went to the next episode, this one, 142. But 142, it was an improvised episode. It was kind of a weak episode, just because, again, this episode needed to serve the purpose of the story arc episode, This episode had to happen just to like finally tie some loose ends and what's going to happen to Sergio and what am I going to keep, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to keep doing with, what happened to the suit, how is he going to prepare himself. So this episode had a lot of exposition and tying up some loose ends. So it was a quick, and I needed this episode to be quick. I think it took a week, less than a week to make, and it needed to be less than a week to make just because so much time was spent on 141. And I knew this season was gonna have a bunch of very tough to make episodes. There were some tough to make episodes. 141 was about 5 weeks to make. Yet 142 was easy to make, less than a week. 143 was also easy to make, but I'll get to that. Oh god, 144, 145, very long amount of time. Animator's Bar, 146. Fun fact about that, which I will get to, but also took a week. Sergio the Hippo. I thought this episode was going to take long, but it actually took, it took a week. I was surprised. The reverse episode, it actually took longer than a week, but at the time, I'll get to that. Oh man, 149. I thought it was going to be the longest episode to make, but it ended up being one of the fastest episodes of the show I've ever made. We'll get to that too. It was amazing. It was mind blowing. Okay, 150. 150. This was also kind of quick. Well, not kind of quick. Maybe a good month, less than a month. But we'll get to that. But yeah, because I started in late December, and I finished the whole 10 episode season in not even October, almost October, late September, the 27th or so. So it was insane. It was all over the place. But we're getting to production and also how these episodes came by. So as you can see, back to the episode real quick. Well, not real quick, but you know. Look, ultimately, as you can see, evil Sergio killed the military guy. I think it had to be done to really show how threatening evil Sergio is and how much he means business. So he has committed murders. Like, I think 3 murders, maybe more than that. But 3 really big murders. And a mastermind, the executive, Vendies, and the military guy. Not in that order, though. But he means business, and now he needs to get things done. Because it sounds like a good plan for him. It's not as big as blowing up the city or like causing the Sergio show to not exist, but I think it's good enough. And I wanted his plan to be more animation related, more to the obviously dark side of the character. And I like the idea that this little military guy assistant was like, "What's up, voice?" And I like voicing it, and then I did the deep voice when he was being angry and serious. So serviceable episode, nice episode, but you know it's part of something big that's coming up. Part of something real big. All of you got to get ready for this. So a good portion of this season was me finishing this evil Sergio show story arc. Once again, but this time really ended. Really, really ended. Really putting the show out of its misery. No, not the show. Not even the character, just that arc. That story arc is so much. But still, it had to be quick to make.
Sergio Studios.
I do love the introduction of the 10th anniversary introduction. I wanted to make a quick, cute one because, yeah, I had to make it a special one to celebrate the 10th year of the show. This one again, it's an episode that just relied on like animation, not any dialogue or anything, which worked. It's a good benefit to this show. Production wise, I don't have to do recording or that much lip sync, if any at all. And really is him just like putting his plan together. So I like this episode. It came out really cute. The montage is very nice. The music is not bad. It's supposed to be Evil Sergio theme. Yeah, a couple bits and pieces. I think this was storyboarded though, because I needed couple of things of him doing, and yeah, it's supposed to be gross and disgusting because it is an archive of the worst cartoon ever made. That evil Sergio is finally finishing what it started. You know, trying to finish this. You know what? I think this is a good time to say this. One of the most interesting things about making a cartoon for me, and maybe for a lot of people, is every imaginative, creative thing always starts in your head. You have it represent in your head. You have it in your head, but you want it out. You want it in reality. You want it outside of your mind and onto the screen. And you always wondered, how is it going to look? Will it be exactly what you thought of? And that's always been every episode. I always wondered, I have this in mind. Will it look like that when I bring it to life? How accurate will it be from mind to what I make to the screen? And that's one of the most interesting things. Oh, that shot you're seeing, that's something I finally fixed or finally realized how to make a cartoon draw. Because in the first episode, I made a terrible effect of him drawing, but I finally figured out in a way how to make a character look like he's really drawing, and what he's drawing is on the paper. But back to the other thing. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about making a cartoon or something creative in general. You have something in your head, and the interesting thing is when the video or cartoon that you're making takes such a long time, and you're still wondering piece by piece, slowly, when it's coming together, will it be better than I expected? What's holding it back? What's gonna hold it back? Will it be completed the whole way through? You know, you experience that as an artist, especially as a filmmaker, animator. You have it in your head, but and also when are you gonna finish it? It's always these questions and thoughts I've been going throughout a good portion of my life when I make videos, artwork. And I know a lot of people think of that too. And I just want to share that thought here. Because it is interesting to think about. Because I do every episode, every video I've made, I'm like, I have it in my head how the video is going to look like, but will it be exactly? Will it be better? Will it be worse? You know, it's an interesting thing a creative person goes through. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Comments down below, you know. But now, this scene, yeah. The scene he's just making a speech. Originally, it was going to be a villain song, actually. It was going to be like an evil villain song, which I really want. But I couldn't think of one. I was inspired by one villain song, but I just couldn't think of any lyrics, and I was on a time crunch. So I made the excuse even for Evil Sergio that he couldn't think of any. So a speech works. In this case, the speech worked, and it's supposed to be like a inspiring look back on his life kind of speech that led him to that. And I thought it was a great way to see him until the next episode. You know, so it's good. It works. It's a really nice. I improvised a speech, but it came out great. And I do like how this is a hidden area, but it looks like a warehouse, very similar to a certain other building. Because it is supposed to be some kind of parallel, you know. But it's obvious, you know. Evil Sergio, you know. What is really the difference? The next 2 episodes, oh boy. We're going to get to it in just seconds, folks. And it is a whopper. It is amazing, but I'm glad I finally made it. I'm glad I finally made it.
Sergio Studios.
Here we go. Alright, this episode was finally me concluding. I needed to be a really epic fight scene and just putting everything together. As simple as that. And it had to be big, and it had to be a big fight scene. So the episode became so big that I decided to split into 2 episodes. Because I didn't know how long it was really going to be. But I knew it was going to be really long. And not only that, but it had to have a lot of other characters on the show, including Juan and Neil. So this one had a script, definitely. Definitely a script. Not only that, but also storyboards and thumbnail drawings. Because that fight scene had to be choreographed, had to be laid out in drawings. And also Neil got a redesign. Neil, a couple years ago, wanted a redesign for him. And I actually made it years ago. But I haven't had an episode yet where he can be introduced in that suit. So this ended up being, you know, also his introduction, Neil's new redesign introduction. And I like it. I like it better. It is good. Me and Neil, like, online chat about this and work together on that redesign. So everybody getting ready because this is going to be huge. This is going to be epic, and I really made sure that it was epic. Yep. So since this episode was huge and I had to wait on the recordings of my 2 friends, Juan and Neil, I had to work on other episodes within the season, the ones that I know I can make easily. One of the episodes I finished early on in the year, other than the first two, was episode 148. Yeah, the second reverse episode, 148, because I knew that was quick. And then I tried to do other episodes, but I didn't want to do episode 150. That had to be last for sure. The stop motion episode also had to be last because that needed attention. So I was stuck making ultimately 148 and 149. And originally there was going to be one more episode. 149 was not going to be the stop motion special. It was going to be a completely different episode. But since episode 144 was so big, because when you put them together, it's 15 minutes, that I decided to actually just split them apart, because they end up being long episodes even when split apart. Like, I could have split the episode into 3 parts, but I felt like there was no need, because in the middle it was just more fighting. And also I wanted to make the stop motion special yes or yes, because I've been holding off on that, but more on that later. So one episode got scrapped, which I'm glad I scrapped one of the episodes, because the episode that never got made was supposed to be another like prequel episode to episode 1, another like full episode of like what was Sergio doing like a week before he made the show, and it was going to be old animation, me reenacting the old animation from the early years of the show, you know. But I ended up scrapping that, and it was just better and quicker production wise to just take the big 15-minute episode, split it 2 ways. So I can tell you how long it took. It took 20 days. Because I remember I started working on it the 10th of June, and I finished it on the very last day of June. The very last day of June. Then I woke up in July 1st, and I immediately went to work on the stop motion special, because I was also preparing the stop motion special, because I know those kinds of episodes need my attention, need work. But yeah, this was a very long episode. Very long episode that yes, honestly, it is cheating, because if this is 15 minutes long and split in half, then what's with episode 150 being 21 minutes and as a whole chunk of an episode? 150 gets a pass because it is a special episode, and a lot of it is reused clips from the show, and seeing that split into 2 episodes is ridiculous compared to this. Oh yeah, I like Juan and Neil's line delivery in the whole episode. They did a great job as always. The same challenge is that they both had. I had to clean up their audio and make it sound like they don't sound like they're in different rooms, or each of their microphone qualities are off. But it was still a challenge that it's noticeable, but I wanted to be less noticeable and just focus on the line delivery. Yeah, the Juan using his powers, because he used that power to stop evil Sergio before in the beginning in season 11. But if he can easily just use it again for evil Sergio again. But I'm like, no. So so what I'm just trying to say is, yeah, obviously it could have ended quicker if he just used the hat again. But so that had to be fixed with EVM also being part of this and taking the hat away. But I love the idea, because here's the thing: I love Juan's hat, but his hat having like a laser beam that he could use is just cheating and lazy. Especially, I have bigger plans for Juan, and him having that laser beam hat is too much of a cheat. That it should just be a regular hat. I love the shot. Yeah, originally I want the line in slow motion. I want him to actually read it in slow motion, but I think I forgot to tell him that, and I was on a time crunch, and I still love his line delivery, so I end up just slowing down the clip. It still came out off, but still a little bit more. No. But Juan did a great job on this one. I love Juan just losing his mind. Of course, Juan really does love that hat. But I needed it had to be a simple hat, honestly. But I love the fights in here. It's okay. I cannot top. So far, I cannot top the fights between them in the very first one. in season 12, I think. Yeah, 12. Poof again. Oh, I love that. It came off too slow, so I sped it up, and it came out looking like that. Oh, this shot was good. Yeah, he need to when I was storyboarding that fight scene. Had to be stuck. And I love this joke here. This is a cute joke. That was cute. That was cute. You think, what's grandma gonna do? But remember, she's a grandma, so it's adorable. You go like twinkle the tail. So that was a cute joke. I love that joke. Love that joke. I know. I wish I could do more with the fight scene with Juan and Neil involved, but I was just focused on the story. I was focusing on the characters, especially with Sergio, Evil Sergio, EVM, Reindeer. There was a lot of characters to jumble, but yeah, I could have done better with the Juan and Neil fight scene because they're just shooting for fun and distraction. But it was already so overwhelming and a lot of work to do. And somehow doing this in 20 days is insane. That's like 10 days per episode if I split them into two. But I do like this mini moment with Neil versus EVM. Yeah, that's when I had to cut for time. I think that was a good time to do that. And it does leave like, what's going to happen to Neil? Okay, next episode. And I did bring that back, that whole to be continued miss thing. Messed up to be continued thingy. And I did have to make time. Am I still talking? Yeah. So that was 144. On its own, it's a good episode with some suspense and a lot of action. So it does work a little bit on its standalone. It's just, it's not solved until second part. So splitting into two parts was great too because I'm like, I can finally finish everything quicker and it just wouldn't be so long. So, and after the epicness of 144 and 145, there's some episodes that are just like nice, calm, breathers, some good breather episodes after that. After just like a good portion of early part of the season, just let's tie this together. Now we're done tying things together. Let's just have fun with the season and celebrate 10 years of this magical stuff. That was my direction for the season. Fantastic season. I'm very happy and proud and honored of this season. A nice reference to what he did earlier in the series. That shot based on a meme. Some of you might get it. I'm surprised no one got that. But the meme was popular back when I storyboarded. Probably when it came out, it wasn't popular anymore. Yes, it finally flies. And that's a rip-off line of a movie. You know what it is. Yeah, some recycled animation here, but still good. You see, Neil gets saved by me, and it looked like it hurt. But that was a good shot, actually. Both animation-wise. Yeah, because now EVM is distracted because what he was tossing down got caught. Yeah, Juan is just losing his mind. Of course he's losing his mind. His lovable hat has no powers. I can't believe Juan went with that line. He didn't know ask questions as like, okay, my hat's crippled, or paralyzed. But it's a regular hat. I didn't want it to be ripped. I think it was even too evil for Evil Surge. I think it was just best to have him have the hat powerless, because it was too much of an ex machina and too much lazy writing. Yeah, that was also lazy writing because I want Neil to land from the distance, but I don't want him to get hurt, honestly. But I want him to knock out the set because I want it to be broken in pieces. Because I really want to bury the hatchet on bringing back Evil Sergio for now. But, he made it safely. But the thing to bring Evil Sergio back is gone. Bring back Evil Sergio is gone. Ugh, I'm still unconscious after all that. Oh, and he brought something back. Yeah, he did take something. It was off camera. I know, if you can make the assumption that he took it off camera, but come on, that's easy to get. Yeah, because there's a recurring thing whenever he gets shocked, there's he's uncomfortable, but he has some burst of power over it. Music is decent. Music is good. Good land. Oh yeah, that drawing. It's funny because originally I was gonna do a rig of that like shot from that angle where I was on the floor, front view, but it didn't look good puppet wise, so I quickly drew that. I think I had to draw it twice. That was the second drawing of it. The transformation. I wanted to be a fully realized version of the hint from the fight scene from season 11. So it turns out he is just like a hidden monster behind all that. So the face he made is just like a lot bigger. He has claws. I originally wanted him to be more monstrous and a lot more gruesome, but I didn't have time. Yeah, I really didn't have enough time, and I didn't want to make him. Yeah, I didn't have time to make him too monstrous. It was just simple monster transformation. It's him, but sharper and looks a lot more freakier. And also, I really wanted to end the grandma thing, the crazy reindeer, too. It was about time I ended evil vending machine, evil reindeer, and evil Sergio all together. So to make the episode more grand, that's the end of all of them. And you see Neil's helping. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. It's you see. I hope it's a nice moral of the story. Always have friends. Friends will help you. See, and also I had to end AARX. Well, had to. I couldn't think of anything more for now. But even then, he could just rebuild them. But I thought this would have a nice end to AARX. You know, since he was meek and worthless and not worth the vending machine's attention, he could do that. Just get in. How does Sergio know? I think he knew from, from the government, probably. But you see, everybody's working together to help Sergio destroy the evil version of himself. I think that was me making monster noises and editing them. I actually say the F word, but I don't finish it. Because, yeah, when you're evil and you're alive and now you're going to be reverted back to normal, not even, yeah. When you lose, you're going about to lose everything at once through one needle injection. You gotta just like swear out the F word as the last thing. So everybody transforming back to normal, I want it to be very, very epic, very heavenly with a lot of like lights, aura, atmosphere. Like something very whimsical and not normal, but serious and strong, and but yet simple, but really grand enough to know really, yeah, they're going through something. They're going through an epic change. I'm trying to acknowledge that AARX is stuck there. He can't get out. That's what I was trying to acknowledge. He's stuck in something that he can't get out of. That's what I was trying to acknowledge on that one. But yeah. So it was epic. It was nice. Here's the interesting thing I want to talk about production-wise about this. The computer I was working on for the season of the show, which is this laptop I've only worked for 2 years, started breaking. It had so many technical problems. When I was working on this episode, the 20 days, it kept breaking and not working. By the last minute of this episode, when the 3 characters were going through that's when technical problems happened. From that point on, the rest of that episode was technical problems. I couldn't animate as well, and I couldn't get through all the shots properly. What I was doing for this season of the show was too much for the laptop that I had at the time. And it was breaking right in front of me. Yeah. So I had technical problems with this. Yeah. Like originally Juan and Neil were going to talk in this shot, but I couldn't do it because there were some technical problems with that. In this shot, there were some shots I think I made them talk. That reindeer, I just took a normal reindeer rig and just made it look cuter. And I think it looks cute. You see, he's not evil anymore. He used to be a tiny reindeer after he became big and evil. And yeah, that's him reverted back to like how he started, which was a VCR. So yeah, it's sad, but he saved us. He partially saved us all. Yeah, I could animate that, but I couldn't do any more like big animation or effects because the computer couldn't handle it. So the last shots were just simple animation shots. That was unfortunate. That was one of the things I've also want to talk about throughout the series. Technical. Because any of you want to get into animation, it's not a pretty penny. And there's going to be a point where you're going to think of something creative, fun, whimsical, and just so full of effects and energy that at one point the computer can only take so much. Especially if you invest in a cheap computer. Don't do that. Or if you want to start out small and simple, sure. But if you want to do bigger things, invest in better computers. I start off the show with a really cheap computer, old computer. It was so tough just the first couple episodes when it didn't need to be tough. And yeah, I worked on the show so long on the laptops it couldn't handle it. And later in the season, I got a brand new computer, and I ended up finishing the season finale on the new computer. The rest of the episodes you see were the last couple episodes done in the laptop. And that's when I went from a really nice desktop computer. But yeah, great set of episodes. Great set of episodes. I'm finally glad to end it, and it was over. It was nice and sweet. So, next episode. The Animators Bar episode. For a long time I wanted to make an Animators Bar episode, and here's the interesting thing. I made this episode in the mid-late 2017. This episode that you're watching originally was going to come out a year earlier in season 14. But with everything being rescheduled and I had to rearrange some episodes and I changed some ideas, I realized, you know what? Let me make another episode. I'm going to move this episode to season 15. So this episode was originally season 14, and I replaced the spot for another episode. I think maybe it was Christmas or story arc episode, because yeah, when I was working on it, I'm like, yeah, I need these episodes and holiday episodes, but I have to kick out this episode. But that worked, because this episode was better for season 15 than 14. Because this is something fans would love, and I know they've been asking, is more Animators Bar. When it was introduced in episode 100, it was, a lot of people liked it. I hinted at it pictures, I teased it throughout the series, kind of. And I wanted to make a good episode, or at least a simple episode about it. You know? I tried to make an episode earlier. There was one point where I was going to make an Animators Bar episode where the Animators Bar was having trouble. And Sergio tried to fix it, but even then it ended up being fixed by itself. So, but it wasn't good enough. And I was waiting for some recordings that didn't come in. But I like how I built more atmosphere. Like there's a booth, and I was also drawing some animators in the Animators Bar, of course. This one I think took me a week or two. Yeah, this episode took me about a week or two. This is a nice breather of an episode. This is a nice episode to watch after 144 and 145. I'm very happy and thankful about it. Good episode. This is a good calm episode. This is like the calm before the storm. And I like those drawings of those characters. I think this was improvised too. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, improvised. He was trying to threaten with a broken bottle, but that's just like a regular plastic bottle. It was supposed to be a simple gag. Look at him. Look at me being a peacemaker. Yeah, I do like this. This is a pretty simple, like, calm down episode, and something fans will love because, you know, the Animators Bar. You know, I want to bring it back more, but we'll see. Yep. The animation on that pouring was nice. Hammond only gets cameos in this season. It is weird, but I'm okay with it, and it's a good episode, really good calm episode. A lot of great episodes this season. This is one of my favorite, best seasons. Nice and celebratory for the fans and for myself. Sweet episode, simple episode. So this was pushed. and which was necessary because then I would have 9 episodes to work on. So ultimately, I actually worked on like 8 this season. One got split, one got cut, one was like even less than that. One was remastered, and a lot of the episodes, especially the next episode and the stop motion episode, were actually episodes I'd written years ago and recorded the dialogue, and I'm just reusing it, finally using it now. Like this one. Sergio the Hippo was an episode I thought of back in 2016. 2016 had a lot of like cartoon animals in movies that year, if anyone remembered. And it inspired me to do my own like cartoon animal episode, and decided to turn myself into a cartoon animal. And I was like, what could it be? And I was like, Sergio the Hippo, and I thought that was nice. I like hippos. I can relate to hippos. But this takes place in an alternate universe, just so you know, a different universe where Sergio's a hippo. And here he explains it. But yeah, this episode, I made the script and recording 2 years before, but I held on to it until the timing was right, and I thought it was a good time to do it here because I thought fans would like Hippo Sergio the Hippo. Now the script had not too much length to it, but I spent a lot of time just making designs for the area and the lands and for the characters. I want it to be a nice bustling town of the cartoon animal city. Animal Toon City Animal Edition, and it does look nice. A lot of simple animation. Took a week to make. This one took the most time within the week. I loved this. I love this shot. One of my favorite animation shots in the series. A week to make this episode. I'm surprised it took a week to make with all those shots, but all those were drawings scanned in. But the one that took the longest time during that week was me eating leaf balls. That one took 2 days out of the 7.
Jeez, what the heck is that?
This is hilarious because I wanted to think of a story, and I'm like, if everything's animals, how can a human really exist here? And what if he was an experiment gone wrong in this case? So I thought that worked. And I like the design of this human. He really does look like a raging beast, like an awkward raging beast. I think he's based. No, he's not based on someone. But I had to keep all the character designs of the animals simple because I can't fully animate them. I didn't have time. I was already overwhelmed with so much work. So all the designs and the animation of the animals were simple, just static images, just moving a little bit, maybe a little layering of arms and legs. I had to work really fast on this. But it still came out really nice and vibrant. And I found, a lot of cheats and a lot of effects I didn't know. Yeah, I knew. By that I knew, Sergio the Hippo was taller than Professor Monkeys. The accent, I don't know where it came from. I just made it up.
We live in this wonderful world that throughout the past 300 million years, we have evolved.
I like he's explaining like the universe, the cartoon animal universe. Because it should be more than just, this same universe except animals. I like the giraffe. I love the drawing of the giraffe. I drew some funny cartoon animals. I like how the giraffe came out. The human character is nice too. I do want to do more in the future on this, but we'll see. I don't know if I ever got a good response though. Let me know in the comments down below about Animal World and Sergio the Hippo. But I love how it came out this episode. It's also a good episode, one of my favorites. I love that eating leaf balls joke. Eating leaf balls joke. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, a week to make. And the eating leaf balls scene was the longest. Sweet episode, very sweet episode, very cute. I love the mouth animation on the hippo mouth. It's just, I think I just drew the top mouth, put it over the original mouth, and it came out good, very, very good. Yeah, very good episode. A lot of great episodes in this season. If you like Animal World and Sergio the Hippo, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do another episode. We'll see.
Sergio Studios.
Okay, episode 148. It's another reversal episode. I love the first reversal so much. I want to do another one. I want to do a follow-up to it. So, how do I follow up to it? I just did the same thing, but I wanted to be more dramatic and a little bit more fun, a little bit more random. But I had to take care of the Lord reversal episode, so it was just a lot more random stuff ultimately. But I had fun. I had fun making this episode. This episode, I ended up having to make a season. At one point, make the episodes and some of the episodes in season 15 out of order. Like, this was episode 148, but I made it. I think it was the third or fourth episode made, even though it was the 8th episode released. Because the other episodes I was not ready for, and I didn't have recordings, and I didn't want to get to 150 already. So that's what happened. And actually, this took a while to make because I was actually in the middle of moving. Because I was working on this sometime in late March, early April, a couple of minutes of it. And then me and my family were getting ready to move, packing. We had to do a lot of work. And then once everything was settled, I went back to the episode. And getting back to the episode took days. So ultimately, it was a couple of days, maybe a week. But there was waiting. There's some animation, hand-drawn animation, but quick of it. But I also want, I still had to make this episode quick. So there were some reused animation for, not the Sergio show, but a promotional thing I did for the show called 30 Days of the Sergio Show. So I just used like a minute of animation from there to here. Just to speed up the process of the montage. Just the montage, because it's a montage. Yeah, did I ever say montage? I don't know if I ever said montage before. But yeah, that's pre-existing, but it was recent. And I wanted to look fun in reverse. So why not? And I was still like doing original animation. What is this? Oh my goodness, is it what I think it is? Double chickens! Oh, double chickens across the sky. Bok bok. Double the chicken, double the fun. Bok bok bok. I love those chickens. I'm glad I get to double the chickens. Did I improve on the music on this? No. It's still a lot of improv, but still a lot of fun things. I do want to do a third one. You think I'm not going to do a third one? Of course I'm going to do a third one. Someday, hopefully. Maybe. I think I improvised that line. I did cough. Oh yeah, I felt like I should end on something ridiculous. On something ridiculous. How about he tries to go inside something and he turns him into mush? I don't know why. That was like the first creative instinct thought. No why, and I didn't want to why. I just wanted to like let him go through a Sergio mush making machine, like a dough. And I thought it would be funny and ridiculous that way, since so many things are happening. That's an homage to homage or a reference. Oh, it's funny. He ate something and it just spit back out. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, there's like references to earlier episodes, so it is good for the fans too. If they like the reversal episode and they like episode 7. Yeah, referenced episode 7. I love episode 7. I'm glad to get to actually make homage to this. There's also a reference to Grandma episode. So this actually is a better episode than I thought. Especially that grand finale. I think that was the best part. And I wanted the reverse to be a different approach. I don't want the whole episode to be reversed. Just a portion of it. Yeah. Yeah, improvise the last line. So good episode on this one. Very good episode. Can't wait to do a third one, hopefully. I should have done the theme song in reverse. Ooh, the next episode! I'm so excited! Oh, we're almost done, and I love the following up, coming up episode. Here we go. Oh, I did that in reverse. Oh, it's the third stop motion special, finally! Finally on this. Oh my god, I love this one. I love this episode. This is also one of my favorites. The third one's my favorite. Even though the first two have their charm. I love how it came out. I love how it came out. This was also something I did long ago, and now I have the experience and a second chance on this with better experience. I love how it came out and how it moves. So, this all started all the way back in late 2014. At the time, they showed a lot of stop motion Christmas specials, and it inspired me to go back into stop motion again. So in early 2015, I started making Sergio stop motion puppets, but I wasn't ready to make animation yet, and I had an idea for another stop motion special, but I wasn't ready though. I still wasn't mentally ready. I still had a lot of issues I was dealing with at the time with the show. So I was slowly getting ready for it, but I wasn't officially ready. Puppets were ready. There was one point where the script was ready, and even the recordings were ready. I recorded this like back in maybe 2015, 2016, and held off on it for a long time. Yeah, I held off this episode too long, but honestly worth the wait, and I'm glad when it came out. I love the design of the monster. I wanted the monster to be incomplete, like really rough because of his backstory, and I didn't want it to be too elaborate. So I'm glad how it worked, and I love the animation, the movements of the characters, and I love the camera positions and the movements. Yeah, this worked. I love the mouth animation on the monster. So it wasn't until summer of 2018 I finally got to put this together. And I started, and the most incredible thing happened where I started production on this July 1st, the day after I finished the big 144, 145 episode. And I was like, I know this is going to take a long time, so I got to work as quickly as possible, efficiently as possible, best as possible. And I think you're going to see my hand in a frame. Get ready. Or you already have. We'll see. But yeah, the episode took 4 days. I worked so quick. You saw the frame in the hand. It took 4 days to put this episode together. First one took 4 months. Second special took 4 months. This one took 4 days. I finished it on the 4th of July. I didn't know I could do that, and I finally did. I can't believe it. That was the most mind-blowing thing. I thought this was going to take another 4 months and make the series or season last too long. But it came out so well with the limited time that I had. There were some cheats, like you can see the tape, but I'm okay with it looking really jittery. You see some light jitters because I wanted to still show the seams, the charming seams of stop motion animation. And I'd probably save time with the mouth animation too, just having it digitally put over. You know, everything I've experienced from the first two, I improved on from here, along with I had better editing effects. And yeah, this was like the last episode I used the laptop. Well, not the last episode. Yeah. Because 150 was made in the laptop, but for a little bit, a good portion of it. But I love the design. I love that the eyes were like little dollar store lamps, little dollar store lamps because I wanted to be like that for blinking, and I would just tap on it really quick and then take a frame so it could be more expressive in the eyes without blinking. So it came out great. It came out really well. Fantastic. I do love that the eye is twitchy. I think the tough part was that fight scene. It came out wrong because I just animated whatever frames, and originally it was going to be more than that. This fight scene was going to be more like a POV video game kind of fight, but I didn't have the time. I thought I had time, but no, I just simplified it. I love the lighting because I had this. My sister gave me these lights that she didn't want anymore, and that was a good advantage. They were nice and bright, and they fit well into the episode, and I could change the setting, green, blue, white, red right here, and now it's blue. So I took good advantage of the lighting. So that was the thing I wanted to improve on to some lighting and atmosphere. And I rebuilt the set and everything. This episode came out fantastic. I'm very proud of this episode. This is also one of my favorites. Very good. Very, very good. It amazes me how I did in 4 days. This is one of the fastest episodes of the Sergio show ever. It made it to like the 4-day production club. It was amazing. Amazing episode. I loved it. Amazed. It kind of inspired me to do more. But it was a long, treacherous pre-production though. But worth it when I finally got to production. It was amazing. Worth the wait. It was a great way to like get you into the next episode. Okay, here we are. The season 15 finale, episode 150. I'm almost speechless with this one. I really am. First of all, I really did wish at this point I would make 200 episodes, honestly. Because, first 5 years I made 100, but, the second 5 years I only got up to 50, but so many things were I had to deal with, But I'm just happy that I made that many amount of episodes so far. It has been amazing. Yeah, that's a blur effect, but yep. So this was, the last episode of season 15, episode 150. But it was made on and off, so maybe it took a month to make, but only because Juan and Neil were in this episode. I had to wait for their recordings, so I had to make pieces of it, and there was even a point where I had to even wait longer because I was making some scenes in the laptop, but the laptop broke so much that it couldn't function properly. So I waited a while to get a brand new computer. Then I finished the other 50-60% of the 75% possibly of the episode, around that, in the new computer. The new computer was a big help. A really big, beautiful desktop. So it is funny because the desktop is the same company that was the desktop for the first couple episodes of the show. So there's a nice full circle for me here. But this is a good tribute. I wanted to have a little reunion, a nice look back of the series, a little bit of jokes, and me really just telling you how far we've come. Sergio! In the series. And I want everyone to have their moment too. Juan and Neil talk about their favorite moments. I want to give them a moment. I had a moment too. That moment with me was last minute. Well, a moment with them was, I wanted to give them time. I wanted to express what they liked about the show. This is a sweet moment. I want there to be, sweet emotional moments because it is amazing. 10 years. 150 episodes. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be a very celebratory season, and it ended very well. There's Neil. His suit, I actually worked with him on the suit because I told him, this is your suit. No, can you change this and this and this? I'm like, sure. And I had to do it in the second because I was actually animating this while I was telling him about the suit. And I was designing the character while animating the character because at that time, this whole first couple minutes you're seeing were some of the last things I animated. Because, I had to wait for their recording, so I just worked on parts of the episode that was just me. Clip montage, all the moments, all the stuff. And the stuff with Juan and Neil, it had to be last minute, done last minute, which includes the introduction. And, yeah, they were great sports. They were fantastic. Of course, as always, thank you and congratulations to both of you for being part of this series. And I love the montage. While I was working on just, the parts I can work on the episode, I just wanted to make a really nice montage. I did have to work on the show a little bit, look back on the show a teeny bit. Not that much. Just I had to know what I wanted and just get the clips. Ultimately. And I knew I wanted in themes like me eating, me getting hurt, like show the formula of the show and all the unique things too, and reoccurring and special about it. I even had to bring up the edited episodes. Not so much the review, but it's alright.
Drawing a simple little cartoon. Sergio, stupid, stun.
It was a very well done montage right here. Very sweet, very good tribute. And you can see how everything changed back and forth over the years. It is very sweet and emotional, and I'm glad it is. Trying to sum up some of my favorite episodes and fun moments, and I try to introduce characters. Juan here, Neil. I wanted a montage of the characters from the show over the years. It's funny to cut to like pixelation and edited and high quality. It is hilarious and beautiful.
That's what it's all about, I guess. This
One.
What? No! That was just beautiful. No, my hat!
It's awesome to be here, Sergio.
Neil. I met him in college and we become great friends since. Just happy and thankful.
That the time machine is complete.
Sergio will come back to kick your butt. Okay, Hino, hold them on.
It had to be the last episode, obviously, to make in the season because those completed episodes were also part of the montage, just so you know. And there's like recurring characters and one-off characters.
How normal? This one machinery.
What?
Grandma.
Me eating, I love that. Me eating, getting her was the fun parts. Me getting her, of course. It's so beautiful, honestly. But I think it was supposed to be 5 minutes, this montage. But it's very calm and soothing and very emotional. God, it would be funny to see someone who never heard of the show and just cut straight to 150. It'll be like, what? Very beautiful, very sweet. This is also one of my favorites. Only because it's full of the show. That is very nice.
We made it! Yeah! Oh, that actually looks pretty cool.
Time travel.
Just to be sure. Got it. Cartoon shoes.
And this is just random stuff in the montage.
Well, that's all for the Sergio show. This is just
The show has made so much progress and it's come such a long way.
Have an animated day. 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 Have an animated
I wanted there to be no, I'll get to it soon. But yeah, just want to give it its moment right now.
Have an animated day. Have an animated day.
Yep.
Wow. 10 years. 10 magical years.
Alright. So once that was done, I wanted there to be segments and moments. He's making speeches. And I try to find a way to also add something that was for the fans, but I've done that throughout the season. So a lot of it really is too much talking, but there's still funny moments in this episode, and a lot of things for the fans to enjoy. You know, so it is a lot of talking visuals, but I kept it simple. Yet I wanted to add a lot. The funny thing is, this is like a mini halfway version of episode 100. Originally, the original cut of episode 100, the length of time, the length of the episode in its original form of episode 100 was 21 and a half minutes. So I was like, this should be a shorter version of that, hopefully, but let me just get everything out of the way and work on this. So when I was done with this episode, it ended up being just 21 minutes. But parts of it were just clips and tributes and moments. So I'm proud of it. I'm happy for it. Yeah, everything has changed drastically, just from 2008. 2008 was such a different time looking back. Only a mere 10 years later. It's a very sweet speech right here. Very sweet. Of course, it's a lot of thank yous. I do want to thank the fans for have been there for me for years. Some have come and gone, but they've been there. Okay, so in between these segments, these bumpers, these graphics, I want it to be fun facts and actually reveal old exclusive artwork from early production of the show in development too. Oh, I love this one. Juan emailed me finally of this recording like maybe like a week or two before I finished it, because that's all I had left, just the Juan and Neil moments, and I was like, oh, so anxious yet so scared to hear it. When I heard Juan and Neil's recordings, I was so happy. I was so I was emotional. I honestly I teared up hearing both of them, just like both congratulating me and and talking about their favorite moments. Yeah, I drew that. That was originally a drawing of a different character, the early drawings of Sergio, but I love the design so much that I redrew it and modified it to make it kind of look like me, but I love the design so much I decided to let it just be the cartoon version of me. Love the design. So that's why it kind of doesn't look like me, yet it looks like me, because it was originally for a different called character, completely different character. I do love the long running series plaque, the long running series reward segment, because yeah, reaching 10 years as an animated cartoon is not easy, and even back then, long running animated shows were a thing. A cartoon. It's been proving a cartoon can go 10 years if it's a series, and now more than ever you can double that time. 10 years. So the Sergio show has reached that level now. It's reached that experience. So I felt like it should be in this episode. I thought it would be cool. That would make sense. But back on the recordings for Juan. I was so happy and so emotional and so thankful when they gave me the recordings, and they're all like very sweet and came out great. So thank you, Juan and Neil, again. You guys did a fantastic job. Mhm. Yeah, I remember before I made the first episode of the show, I decided to just make drawings of the show, and it was a promotional thing. But I didn't know how to post it online at the time, so I just kept it to myself. Yeah, yeah. Of course, Neil loved this, but it's nice. Yeah, I loved his moment. It was a good moment. Yeah, that one too. I love that. I remember I drew that before I made the first episode because I hyped myself that much. This was a joke, and I think the last scene and the last moment made on the old laptop before I fixed and animated the rest in the new computer. Yeah, yeah. So because it was a simple scene to make, I just needed one little animation of him, again with the clips, and that was it. I think I made this song for this, but all like there's audience clapping and stuff for this. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe Dinosaur Sergio will come back. Oh, nobody cares. I didn't add a audience clap for that. Those were dumb. I think it was a random year, 1983, for these two. Yeah, that's funny. I remember having fun doing that episode. That is true. I think there was a technical difficulty with the with the text on the screen. That's why it looks like it was out of place for a while. He had multiple births and deaths. I love it. He did, didn't he? I don't know if I got any of the births and deaths accurate. I tried. I don't know if that joke made sense previously. Everything Sergio eats. Evil reindeer. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just the evil part. Oh, of course. I had to bring that up. I had to. Yeah, I had to acknowledge that's what happened to the show, honestly. It tries to be sad. I try to make a good sad music, but that's the best I could do for this. I know he only lived for 2 years. Jesus, Jiminy Crickets. Oh, so I did bring tribute to the desk. At least the first desk. And I think maybe the second desk. Yeah. Yeah, I think I picked that date just because, stop motion monsters were made in the late 80s. Oh, and this is poignant because, yeah, it's not evil Sergio, it's fan art Sergio. Because remember, he started off very early on in the series. In episode 13, he was a fan art that came to life. He had a moment in episode 30, but then he just had like a tough life then, and then came back 2014 and just became a completely different character. So I think it was very sweet and very emotional and poignant to really be sure that Evil Sergio did not die, but an even grander thing happened, and that was fan art Sergio. This was some of the early drawings that end up getting scanned for the cliff scene in episode 7. And here's my moment. I wanted to add, fun fact fan art. And yeah, I love the evil vending machine. I did love it. I was trying to figure out which one I loved the most. But there was something about the evil vending machine that I made for the first time was very good. And I loved working off of that. That and, obviously Evil Sergio. Evil Sergio 2. I remember, you heard me had fun with season 11. So it could have been that too, actually. But, if you heard the commentaries, you know what I enjoyed and not enjoyed. Yeah, that was scanned in. That was yeah, that was the original title for the Sergio show, but just had to color it and edit. For this, I had a green screen. I recorded myself really quick. It was just a 2-minute thing, and that's how I made it work. The audio's still a problem though. Another problem is I try to fix the green screen as best as possible. The green's gone for the most part, but it took away the white in the chest. It did. That bothered me. I was like, I can't figure this out in time. And I was almost done with this episode. This was the last shot. But unfortunately, I couldn't figure out the best as I could. This one, I just, I think I cleared a clip over it. You can tell there's going to be like a shot or two. But I love the speech I made. Very good. But obviously in the next shot, it's like, why is this chest a little bit see-through with white? And it was just because the green screen effect took away the white too for some reason. But I love the speech. I love the speech I made. I'm glad I got to do my live action part quick. It really was sweet. And I love the shirt. And I do love this moment. And I like how I'm the one, live action me is saying, have an animated day. Yeah, that was the camera focusing and me trying to just fill in the white so you won't see through me. It ended beautifully right here. Yeah, that was a tough effect because I had to shrink zoom out with all that. But no, it came out great. It came out really good. My grandma has a cameo in this. We did it, everybody! 150 episodes, and it's been insane me doing the commentary for season 15 and throughout the whole series. Looking back, there have been mistakes, there have been experiences. It's been amazing and insane, but barely any regrets, and I loved it, and I hope you guys love it too. Please let me know in the comments down below. Again and again, thank you very much for watching. It's been great making this series. Just love you guys very much. Again, I'm Sergio Dominguez saying have an animated day.